It has great views, a great golf course, and a very generous landlord.
It may be one of the most unusual neighborhoods in New Mexico. And if you knew what people who live there were paying in property taxes, you'd know why. Tonight, Kim Holland is on special assignment with the details on a very sweet deal.
You're looking at perhaps one of the most unique residential neighborhoods in New Mexico. If you live here in this community, you qualify for one sweet deal. It's charming, neighboring a lush golf course, in walking distance to a local college, perched atop a hill with great views. Welcome to Faculty Hill Subdivision.
It's a quiet neighborhood.
Dr. Gerardo Gross is a retired university professor.
I'm a geophysicist.
And has lived here for the past 40 years. But there's a secret behind his picturesque property overlooking the 16th fairway. It's his property tax bill. Dr. Gross owns his home, but he leases the land.
Land costs us $12 a year.
Isn't that a pretty good deal?
Yes. Oh, no, absolutely.
Dr. Gross and his neighbors have an unusual landlord, New Mexico Tech in Socorro. To understand how a state school ended up collecting rent checks for 65 New Mexican families, you have to go back more than 50 years. It was all part of then University President E.J. Workman's grand vision.
He expanded the school from just the mining school to more technology, science, and engineering. So he had to attract faculty from all over the country to build these new departments.
In the 1950s, New Mexico Tech bought the 39 acres and turned it into a subdivision for Tech employees. Tech then rented the land to homeowners on a 99-year lease. They paid just $12 a year. But nobody thought about the future, so today Dr. Gross still pays just pennies for the privilege to live on public land. And if he's around that long, he'll continue to pay $12 for another 4 decades.
Oh, hi, Carla. Rick Astor here.
Dr. Richard Astor also gets to skip out on his land property taxes and also pays just $12 a year to lease the land. The rent payment only increases if he sells his house. Some folks pay $100 and others pay $200 a year.
There is a trade-off here. I mean, the trade-off is we don't actually own the land, so New Mexico Tech has additional authority over here.
It's an unusual deal.
It is unusual.
Socorro County Assessor Val Anaya says the county loses out on roughly $16,000 a year through the Tech subdivision deal. Because the land is owned by a public institution, it doesn't pay property taxes. You look at those properties and think, boy, wouldn't we like to have those property taxes?
I think I'd rather look at the glass half full. We have the homes on there that we are allowed to tax. And the values of some of those homes range up into the $240,000.
But the unique deal isn't just limited to faculty and staff. Anybody can live here. When a house is for sale, it's offered to Tech employees first. If there are no takers, it's opened up to the general public. Today, about 20% of the subdivision residents have no Tech ties. Regular people are living here and not paying property taxes on their land. That's not fair.
It is a good deal for somebody, right? But you are paying property taxes on the house. And so the amount of money that you're saving is really small.
It may be small, but the deal is enticing. Kim Holland, KRQE News 13.
Since residents don't pay property taxes and New Mexico Tech owns the land, the school is responsible for maintaining roads, sidewalks, and a neighborhood park.